Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Taylor, co-owner of VeganProteins Online Coaching. And today I want to talk about why most of you will really struggle to hit your goals this year. It's the new year. I cannot believe that it is already 2024. And it's obviously the time of year when people are most excited about setting goals. And I'm 100% on board with that. Goals at VeganProteins are very important. We love goals. Setting and achieving goals really make sure that we are living the kind of life that we want to live. And I think that nearly all goals are very well intentioned out of the gate. But despite their best efforts, a lot of people still fail to consistently make progress. They struggle to complete their responsibilities or achieve almost any of the goals that they set out. However, there's usually a big fundamental obstacle, whether that be emotional, mental, etc., that is stopping people from realizing their visions. Here are my 7 very real, in my opinion, brutally honest reasons why so many people fail to reach the goals they set at the beginning of the year. But before we get into that, I do want to announce that we are holding a goal setting workshop on January 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern. I've held this workshop now 2 years in a row, and people really look forward to it. So if you're interested in coming, we only have 100 spots, but click the link below to register and be sure to show up. We'll be going over what kind of goals to set, how to make sure they're the kind of goals that you can actually achieve, and how to break those down into workable steps. I would love to see you guys there. All right, now let's get into the 7 reasons many people will struggle to hit their goals this year. 1, you don't really want to achieve these goals. What? What does that even mean? Okay, well, here's what I mean by that. This answer is actually a little deeper than it sounds on the surface. First, there's the fear of success. Reaching your goals can create difficult feelings, emotions, outcomes, etc. For example, friends sometimes get jealous when you achieve your goals, and that can cause some stress in your life. Sometimes achieving a goal means huge things in your life are going to have to change, and that can sometimes make us realize that we didn't actually want that in the first place. A lot of times there's the guilt of having to be a little bit selfish in order to reach your goals that we are not ready to handle or deal with. And for all of these reasons, some people inadvertently sabotage their own progress. So they're not doing it on purpose. Often they don't even realize they're doing it at all. But it's for this reason that it's really important to examine the goals that we set and make sure that they are things that we truly want to do and achieve. What will our life look like when we achieve that goal? Is that actually something that we want? If your answer is not a resounding yes, take a step back and reanalyze your goal. Because without that 100% yes, at some point, you may very well just walk away entirely. The mere possibility of getting what we want fills the soul of the ordinary person with guilt. We look around at all those who have failed to get what they want and feel that we do not deserve to get what we want either. I have known a lot of people who, when their personal calling was within their grasp, went on to commit a series of stupid mistakes and never reached their goal when it was only a step away. This is the most dangerous of the obstacles because it has a kind of saintly aura about it, renouncing joy and conquest. Paulo Coelho. There's also the absolutely crippling fear that you can dedicate yourself completely and utterly to a goal and still fail. Knowing that you gave something your all and didn't actually achieve it can be personally devastating, especially when you attach your self-worth to these goals. So for this reason, a lot of people only give a half-assed effort so that any resulting failure is not as devastating of a blow. Or they'll work on trivial things to avoid facing the actual issue at hand. We'll get to that one in the next one. And lastly, and more simply, a lot of people don't really want their goals. They kind of want their goals. They would like to achieve their goals, but they will limit the amount of work they are willing to put in to achieve them or how much they'll sacrifice to get there. In my experience, I really do believe that you have to be all in on your goals in order to achieve them, which is why it's so important to examine them in the first place to make sure that they are things that you're really excited to be all in about. Number 2, bike shedding. Bike shedding is a term sometimes called Parkinson's law of triviality, which is where people spend more time on insignificant details and tasks and less time on the more impactful things that will actually move them forward. For example, if they want to start a new exercise routine, they may spend hours researching perfect meal timing and the best supplements to buy, and less time actually getting their butt to the gym to work out. Although technically they're working on their goal, they'll never get any actual results because they're only doing minute tasks. You cannot overestimate the unimportance of practically everything. John Maxwell. Try and focus on what really gets you results. I like to use the 80-20 rule. Spend your time on the 20% of things that will get you 80% of your results. This is how you get the best results the fastest. But it's also usually the hardest thing to do because the 20% of things that will get you 80% of the results is almost always the hardest task involved in reaching a goal. It's much easier to feel like you're moving towards your goal when you're working on minutia that doesn't actually do anything, rather than putting in the really hard work that at the end of the day, we all know what it is. It just actually has to be done. 3, you lack focus. I know this one hurts to hear, but a big reason why many people are not successful in reaching their goals is simply that they have too many of them. While you're trying to achieve a million different things all at the same time, you have to remember that every goal that you're working towards costs you something. Maybe it's time, maybe it's money, maybe it's mental energy. But regardless, every goal takes up some kind of space in your day. And because of that, if you have too many goals, you can end up being spread so thin that you rarely finish achieving even one of them. Rather than setting all of your goals at once in the beginning of the year and starting on all of them at the same time, try spacing them out so you're only working on maybe 2 to 3 goals at a time so that you can give the required time, focus, and energy to each one in order to achieve it. Success isn't that difficult. It merely involves taking 20 steps in a singular direction. Most people take 1 step in 20 directions. Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Too many goals are not the only things that destroy our focus. In 2024, the number of distractions in our daily life are endless. It seems like everything is constantly fighting for our attention. TV, social media, your cell phone, games, your laptop, your email, advertisements. It goes on and on and on. We live in a society where our attention is currency. I firmly believe that, but that is an entirely different video for another day. The point is that it is so easy to fall down a rabbit hole of becoming distracted. You get one ping of a text message on your cell phone and you pick it up, and 30 minutes later, you're scrolling Instagram stories and you don't know what happened to the last half an hour. Be honest with yourself. Where are you getting the most distracted, and how can you minimize or even eliminate those things? Be intentional with your technology and your attention. I'm a huge movie lover, so I agree that entertainment is fine, but don't allow it to overshadow the things that are most important to you. Set boundaries from the useless distractions that oppose you reaching your goals. And remember to regularly ask yourself, will this help me achieve my goals? Number 4, they're actually someone else's goals. It's unfortunate to think about, but a lot of the things that we think that we want are actually things that we have been conditioned by our family, culture, and society to want. Or sometimes they are things that other people outright told you have to do in order to be successful. How many people grew up with the goal of marriage, a white picket fence, 2 cars, 2.5 children, only to realize once they got it, that wasn't what they wanted at all. It was just what society told them they had to do. But if you're only doing something because someone else told you had to, you're gonna feel resentful, unfulfilled, and have very little motivation to achieve these so-called goals. Try to be honest with yourself, and I know this is hard, but are your goals truly your goals, or are they just things everybody taught you to want? I'm reminded of this all the time as a business owner. Everybody is constantly telling me that I need to be striving to owning a multi-million-dollar business, and for a split second I think, oh, yeah, that would be nice. Maybe I should work on that. But then I realized what that would actually entail, how I would have to change our business in ways I wouldn't want to be less integrous. I would probably lose much or all of my family time. And it's not something that I actually need to do. So it ends up not being a goal that I actually set for myself. But I can see how easily one can be influenced by the goals of other people and make those the goals we set for ourselves. So don't strive to compete in a bodybuilding show because social media made you feel like that's what you have to do. Don't feel like you have to set a weight loss goal every single January just because that's what everybody else is doing. Try to think about what matters the most to you and set your goals accordingly. When you have goals that come from within, goals with a deep purpose and motivation that are significant to you and only you are much more likely to succeed. Number 5, perfectionism. As a recovered perfectionist myself, I feel pretty confident talking about this one. Perfectionism stops you in your tracks when it comes to being able to be creative, perform, and grow. Some people feel like it's a badge of honor, like I used to feel, but it's actually a very double-edged sword. Due to impossibly high standards, it can cause internal issues and feelings of unworthiness and a hell of a lot of stress. Perfectionism is the dominant behavioral characteristic behind mind-body syndromes. It is a form of neuroses. It is not knowing when to put limits on behavior. How much is enough? When to let go? Is it too little or too much? Am I going to be accepted or rejected? Am I going to be good enough? I don't know. So I will continue on my obsessive path to get it right, to avoid that next sting of rejection. It's a hybrid cocktail of low self-esteem and increased narcissism with a twist of lime. Stephen Ozanek. Perfectionists like to pride themselves on their ability to do everything to a T. But if we actually investigate this tendency further, we realize that it is a form of avoidance. Think about it. If you're a perfectionist and there's something that you want to achieve, but you don't think you're capable of doing it perfectly, there's a really good chance that you're not even going to attempt it in the first place. And like we talked about in a previous point, not attempting something in the first place is a really good excuse for not achieving it at all. You need to be willing to suck at something in order to ever get good at it. Successful people have probably failed at stuff more than anybody else because that's what success requires. Failure over and over and over again so that we can learn and grow and get better until we ultimately achieve the thing that we want to achieve. So if you are also a perfectionist, I highly encourage you to let that shit go. And if you struggle with it, take up a hobby that you know you're not very good at so that you can get comfortable being incredibly mediocre at something. Come down here and play in the mud with the rest of us so that you can actually become the person that you want to be. Number 6, your environment sucks. People underestimate how much their environment plays a huge role in their ability to achieve anything. We often feel like in order to move forward towards our goals, all we need is more willpower. We overestimate what our willpower is capable of and underestimate what our environment is capable of. Your friends, your information sources, your city, your job, they all shape who you are, your opportunities, and your odds of success. But if your environment limits you, you'll continuously get in your own way and waste energy and time. Wherever you can, try to analyze your environment and see where you can redesign certain aspects of it. I think analyzing your social circle is a really great place to start. As Jim Rohn would say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I found this to be totally true. When I was younger, I spent a lot of time with people who were living in a way that was toxic, unhealthy, and really damaging. And that doesn't mean they were trying to hurt me. It just means that their presence was making me more comfortable with living a life that was less than what I wanted it to be. I'm not saying you have to cut these people out of your life. Some of these people might not even be possible to cut out of your life. But if you can find people that will help you level up, it will be an absolute game changer. In 2008, when I met Giacomo, my now husband, and Robert Cheek, now one of my best friends, everything in my life started to change. I now had a social circle that was interested in health, fitness, and overall just trying to improve their own selves and the lives of those around them. I have never leveled up so fast in my life, and this has continued to be true with new people that I've met over the years since then. So if you want to get healthier, but your friends are extremely unhealthy, they will hold you back. Find friends who are doing the things that you want to do, then intentionally design your lifestyle so it gets you to where you want to go. I'm actually thinking about doing either a whole video or maybe even an entire video series on environmental design. So if that sounds something that would be interesting to you, let me know in the comments down below. Number 7, you lack personal accountability. This might be the most brutally honest one of all, but be honest with yourself. How well do you follow through with the promises and commitments you make to yourself? How often do you do what you say you will do? Some people set the same goals month after month. They make no progress, lie to themselves, and don't seem to care. But if you build a habit of breaking your own promises, you will gradually stop believing in yourself, lose confidence, lose hope, which makes it even harder to achieve your goals. And it's also really freaking painful. Learn to keep yourself accountable. Yes, having outside accountability can help. That's what we do. Obviously, we believe that. But no one can want your success more than you. Start with small things first, like drinking enough water each day or even making your bed at the beginning of the day. Start following through with your commitments. When you regularly keep the promises you make to yourself, you'll feel far more confident and empowered, and you'll build serious momentum to take on larger goals. I know this video was a lot to take in because it really makes us question a lot of our beliefs about ourselves, but it is possible to overcome these obstacles. Remind yourself why you want your goal in the first place. How would it enhance your life? What kind of joy would it bring you? And if you're about to achieve that goal, think about all of the effort and sacrifice it took to get there and how much you deserve your success. Next, recognize that you are already worthy as you are right now, whether you achieve your goal or not. Your goals are for direction and clarity, not to measure you as a human being. And at the end of the day, no accomplishment will bring you validation or approval. It has to come from within, as cheesy as that sounds. You're not going to achieve a particular goal someday and find all the self-love you've been looking for this whole time. The work of committing to a particular task or set of tasks and actually following through in it will do more for your confidence than achieving any particular goal. So don't be afraid to go all in on the tasks that it's going to take to achieve your goals, because the value is in the journey itself. All right, everybody, thank you so much for checking out today's video. Again, I will be hosting a live goal setting workshop on January 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you'd like to sign up for that, click the link below and register. I would love to see you there. And how about for fun, you guys list one of your goals you have for 2024 down in the comments below. I love to see what other people are up to. If you liked the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.